Make room for Javi.
Welcome to my Project Today video, where I explain a project or tell a story each day for a year, and I attempt to complete my shop. Day 21 of 365, and today's project is to install the Gable vents. And today's story, why I chose Central Florida. Now, anywhere you hang your hat is home. Whether you have a hat or not, the statement is just as true now as it was for Leon Redbone back in the Tin Pan Alley days. Some folks decide to leave a place and then go looking for a new one. Some folks see a nice place and choose to leave because of that fact. For me, it was a combination of both. Living in Miami as a teenager, only 4 hours away from Disney, was fantastic. From the days where Disney had A through E ticket books, through the days where the Very Merry Christmas was a singular special event, to the seasonal and annual pass days when the passes were under $100. Hotels nearby were $30 a night, and Epcot was new. I would go 6 or 7 times a year with friends, and often without. Sometimes I'd stay at hotels, but often I'd stay with my cousins who lived half an hour away from Disney. Times, prices, and the culture is much different than it is now, but back then, it was a whirlwind adventure every trip. Now, as often as I would stay, I saw the culture around Orlando a stark difference from the South Florida scene. Not better, not worse, just different. I grew to love the region, albeit not the growing city traffic. My favorite cousins lived outside the city in what seems to be called an exurb, an area not quite fully rural, yet not quite suburban, kind of in between the two. Relatively large pieces of land close enough to big cities to commute. Now here's a bit of a backstory. My maternal grandfather was a CPA who traveled back and forth from Cuba to Miami during the 50s and 60s. He had numerous clients like Morton Salt, and he had a good life. His sister, named after America, had moved to Central Florida, and my grandfather down south would often help out with finances and employment to some of her kids in the past. But regardless of the details, the siblings loved each other dearly, and that family bond was passed down through generations. My mom grew up with some of America's kids, her cousins, in Cuba, and then, while distant, never lost touch in the States. Every trip I would go up with my family, we'd be treated like kings. I would look forward to every family get-together growing up, particularly those involving my closest cousins, Israel B. and Alex. Their family bond, their courteousness, and to a certain degree their attention and interest in me convinced me that this was the place to be. Now, in reality, their interest and attention in me was like interest and attention in anyone else, but coming from Miami, where most people tend to be aloof rather than welcoming, made the kindness seem that much better. So as the luster for Miami tarnished, the shine for Central Florida and the cousins grew, I always had my eye on the place. While that wasn't the only reason for the move, that was the principal one for me and my family. Thank you for watching. Feel free to comment. I enjoy reading them, particularly when they're pleasant. Please subscribe, and as always, have a great day.
Make room for Javi.